War. War never changes.
What's up, Wastelanders? Boys and girls, prepare to be astounded, bedazzled, and otherwise stupefied.
You talk a lot. Sound funny when you talk like a stupid human.
I am online once again! Tremble, world, before my electric heating coil of doom!
What's up, Wastelanders? Hello and welcome to Tapes from the Wastes, a Fallout fan podcast bringing you gameplay talk, discussions, Fallout lore, and all things Fallout. I'm one of your hosts, KDB, and later you'll be hearing from my co-host, Eric, aka Sulior. We are back after not a break. It's just been a little while since the previous episode, and that was completely unintended, and there's a few reasons for why that's happened. I feel like I say this a lot, you know, as listeners to the show will know, Eric and I do lots of other things as well, so we squeeze in Tapes from the Wastes where we can, and it's been obviously a funny time because we had Christmas and New Year where both Eric and I, you know, try to take breaks and relax a little bit, and it's currently towards the end of January as I'm recording this, and I since the previous episode, despite the other things I like to do and the other content I'm working on, and then, you know, work and home life and all that, over Christmas I had COVID, which spoilt my Christmas a little bit. And then early January, went back to work, which has been incredibly busy. And then the second week back at work, I got COVID again, which I'm not going to kind of whine on about it, but I, without a doubt, had the worst case of COVID that I've ever had. I've had it a few times, and every time I get it, it's kind of like, you know, I feel slightly under the weather, but it doesn't really have that big of an effect on me. But this time, for a solid 9, what is it now? Like, I mean, this is like 12 days later, and I'm still not quite back to 100%. But for the first 4 days, I was completely wiped out. And I mean, I remember coming home from work and feeling that I'd gone really downhill. And then it was a Friday after that. And I worked from home on the Friday and just kind of worked and wasn't feeling great, and then got worse and worse. And that Friday night, had a really rough night and had like some minor breathing issues in the night as well, which was really kind of worrying. But then I came through it, and have just been really headachy and flu-y and stuff, and poor me. But it was a rough time, and so it's been a very stop-start 2024 so far. So I apologise for the little bit of a break. I wanted to jump on some more Fallout podcasting sooner than we have. And Eric has been doing an amazing job of he plays Fallout for the both of us at this rate, because I haven't really been playing Fallout. This is not going to be a long sort of rambling section for me, because Eric has done a decent update, and he is doing some lore stuff for us for the first time in a while. We've got our first lore section in a while, so stick around for that, and that's going to be on some of the vaults. We're going to do kind of like a mini series sort of the vaults as we lead up to the launch of the TV show. So that's what Eric's section is going to be about today, along with his gameplay and stuff like that. So very up and down start to the year with illness and stuff like that, and I've been juggling a lot. But we're here today. I'm recording. Not too much to report from me gameplay wise. I haven't been playing any Fallout, so I have, and people who follow me on Twitter will see that I have kind of made a pact with myself to this year. I'm trying to finish more games than I ever have in a 12-month period, because I have a really bad habit of starting games and not finishing them, and then I'm kind of in the midst of like 5 games at once, and then I'll finish a couple of them, and then the others just get put to the side and never finished. Well, it was my New Year's resolution I'm actually going to try and finish games and allow myself to maybe be playing like 1 or 2 at a time, but make sure I finish them. And it's been going really well. In January, I've finished 9 games, I think, so far. And this is not including like some of the jumping on to like Gears of War 5 that I've been doing to pop a few achievements there, because I've also been having a bit of friendly competition with my buddy Steve from First Aid Spray, and we're seeing who could get the most gamer score in January. And we're currently both floating around the like 9,500 mark for a month, which for me is insane. That my highest in a month might have been like 1,200 or something like that. An average good month is like 800 or 600. So yeah, to be at nearly 10k for the month, yeah, it's been crazy. So that's my gameplay through January has been quite varied, but finishing games, and I'm tracking the games that I'm playing on Twitter, so come and follow me. Like I've been some of the ones, I'm not going to remember them all, but I've played through RoboCop, I've played through Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, which is fantastic. I just finished the main story of that last night. Easily one of the best games I've played in years. But no Fallout, a little bit of Starfield, and yeah, I've just been kind of keeping myself on track to finish those games and pop some achievements in this little battle that I've had with Steve, on top of the fact that I've been feeling like absolute crap. You might hear it in my voice a little bit still. I'm still a little bit sniffly, but I'm definitely feeling much better. And I am excited about Fallout because there is stuff to come. I saw a tweet yesterday or a couple of days ago about stuff that's going on in the player test server. I do have we did have a post on the Fallout 76 website which talked about the new update that's coming. So we obviously covered previously on the show our thoughts on the first part of the Atlantic City update, because we're going to get more content for that. And if you go to the Fallout 76 website, you'll see, I'm not going to read through the whole thing because I recommend you visit the website and have a look, but just the long and short of it is they have an article titled "Prepare for Atlantic City, America's Playground, coming March 26 to Fallout 76." And you can go to Atlantic City in a new expedition. They bring another expedition. Family comes first in an all-new quest line. Explore the boardwalk. So this, I believe, you can go to the new locations without having to do an expedition, which is something people have been asking for a long time. And that's the tweet I saw, I think, of somebody on the player test server talking about being able to fast travel to this new location and explore it. So yeah, and you can preview that now if you're on PC. I say player test server, it's public test server, right? And then we have a new season coming as well, and this is all sort of late March, so we've got a little while to go, but this is going to lead us into the hype for the TV show. So I'm definitely going to be checking the new update out, and I'm very excited to finally see Fallout 76 kind of going to this place where I think many of us wanted to for a while, like with adding the new locations, being able to travel there and explore and perhaps add little quest lines and maybe some NPCs and stuff in those locations. That's incredibly exciting to me. That's what I want, because the expeditions, as we've talked about, I appreciate all the work that goes into them. They're not really for me when it comes to what I want from Fallout. So yeah, I'm very excited for the new update that's coming March the 26th to Fallout 76. And yeah, go and read more updates on the website. We're not really a massive news show. Like I say, sometimes we dissect the news, but you know, this is an update I think everybody is kind of aware of. But you can go learn more on the Fallout 76 website. And yeah, there's not too much else for me to say. All I can reiterate is that there are lots of plans that we've got for the content this year, and now I'm over this kind of hump of being ill twice in a month and having COVID twice in a month. I'm hoping I can really ramp up now. I've done some new stuff for First Aid Spray recently. I've got a video coming out for Gears Intel as well, and we have our next episode of the Gears Intel podcast planned. And I know Eric's been busy with his content as well. But yeah, it's just a quick check-in from me today. Eric's coming in with the lore with this episode and everything that he's been doing. And we're going to, keep things coming on this road to the TV show, which is obviously a huge part of the year, along with the game updates and the Fallout 4 next-gen upgrade, which, you know, is supposed to be coming soon. So there's going to be lots to talk about soon. Thank you, everybody, as always, for listening. I'm going to hand it over to Eric now, and I'll be back at the end very quickly to sign off.
Thank you so much, Kelsey, for everything that you do. And yeah, Happy New Year, everybody. So yeah, hope everybody had a fantastic holiday and New Year. And we are almost done with January already. Man, this month has really flown by. So yeah, we got the Fallout TV show on the horizon, just a few months away. I, for one, cannot wait to watch this. So I wanted to get back into the lore for a while now. I know some people have said that they really love our lore episodes, and I've wanted to sprinkle some more lore into our episodes. So I figured what better time to go through all of the different vault experiments than right now. We don't really know what the experiment is in Vault 33, Vault 32, and whatever other vaults they show on the TV show. But we do have a lot of vaults that we do know the experiments from, not just from the games, but from other things like the Fallout Bible, the board games, a lot of other sources. So I'm not going to be doing them all right now. But I did want to break them up into different episodes to lead up to the release of the Fallout TV show. So before we get to that, though, I did want to go over what I've been playing lately, everything that I've been up to, all that good stuff. So I will start with my non-Fallout stuff first. So I have been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate. So that's one thing that I've been playing a ton. Got that right around Christmas, and I've been loving the hell out of this game. I'm still in Act 1. I think I'm getting toward the end of Act 1, but I have just been... It's my first real experience with Dungeons and Dragons. Like, I've always kind of been on the peripheral of it, but I've never actually experienced it myself. I've never played a Dungeons and Dragons tabletop, never played Baldur's Gate before, any of that. My only experience really with the world of Baldur's Gate is from a mod in Oblivion that gives you, I want to say her name's Viconia DeVere, who is a drow in the first two games, and I think she's at least mentioned in Baldur's Gate 3. I haven't dealt with that yet, but yeah, you can have her as a playable companion in Oblivion and eventually romance her. And I want to say there's a mod that brings her into Skyrim as well. So that's really how I knew about the drow. It's from the conversations that you have with her in Oblivion through the mod. So of course I became a drow in Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah, my character's a drow druid. So that's been a lot of fun. Not going to really get into too much of that, but I have loved interacting with companions. I have a lot of them. Let's see, I've got several. Only got so much time right now, so I won't go into all of that right now. But yeah, just loving the hell out of that game. Other games that I've been playing, still playing a lot of Starfield. Mainly been focusing on exploration and surveying all the different planets and systems in Starfield, and taking a lot of pictures and posting them all over social media. So if you follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky, you've probably been seeing a lot of my pictures in Starfield. And it's really kind of remarkable because most of the time I need a story or some sort of quest to keep me hooked on a game. And that hasn't really been the case with Starfield. I love just going around exploring all the different planets and getting out there and seeing the sights. Absolutely been loving it. And yeah, other than that, as far as non-Fallout goes, I've been playing a lot of Power World the last few days as I'm recording this. This is Wednesday, January 24th. Just say what you want about Power World, whether or not it plagiarizes Pokemon or not. I have been having a lot of fun with this game. It is like a Fakemon game, like a non-Pokemon game, if that makes any sense. Combine that with survival aspects from games like Ark, where you do a lot of building, a lot of preservation, like things, building houses and things to protect you from the elements and to make your hunting easier. It's not turn-based like Pokemon is also. It's like real time. And you're not even really commanding the creature. You just kind of toss it to an enemy and let it do its work. So yeah, that's been a lot of fun. As far as Fallout 76 goes, I am now on double scorecation. I have finished the scoreboard not just on Xbox but also on PC. Still playing with friends, doing events like the Top of the World Dweller drop on United Wastelanders. It's been a little bit, so I'm sure you've heard all about that experience by now. If not, check out the United Wastelanders page, or maybe it was on Jess's personal page that shows my final drop. That was awesome. I'll let the picture speak for itself when you check it out. And been doing a lot of stuff more on PC when it comes to questing and things like that. I just recently finished the Crater story on PC. So I did the I finished Wastelanders on the Crater side. So I've now got a full set of Secret Service armor. I still need to get some flux so I can finally have a jetpack again. And I've been doing a lot of Sophia Daguerre's companion quests. I found her in the mire and have been doing her quests. I also have been doing a little bit, like I've rescued Beckett from the Blood Eagles. I haven't done any of his quests yet. I'm going to finish with Sophia first. But yeah, getting a lot of those quests done. I have dropped nukes on both Xbox and PC with the help of friends. Thank you guys again for that. And yeah, just really playing and enjoying Fallout 76 quite a bit. You might find me on streams, like I'll just run into friends, either because I'm in the stream with them or I just happen to run into them in the world. It's been great, just having a lot of fun with 76. So yeah, that's really it. So let's get into some of these vaults. So I'm going to go through these in numerical order, because that's mainly how they're listed here on the Fandom Wiki page, but that's kind of how I was going to do it even if they weren't. So I'm going to go through several of the canonical vaults, and we're also, as these episodes go through vaults that may not be in the base games, but maybe in other materials, such as the Fallout Bible, board games, vaults that were going to be in games but ended up getting cut for whatever reason. So for now, let's go through a few of these canonical vaults from the games. So let's start with Vault 3. So Vault 3 is in Fallout New Vegas, and it was Control Vault. And the purpose behind this vault was it's a control vault, but the experiment with this vault is that the inhabitants chose to remain in isolation for over a century until a water leak forced them to open for trade. And this vault was subsequently massacred and taken over by the Fiends. So this is the Fiend Vault from Fallout New Vegas. Let's see, Vault 4 is listed here, but apparently it's going to show up in the TV series. Now, I don't remember seeing anything about Vault 4. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember them mentioning Vault 4 in any of the stuff that we've seen so far. But maybe it's out there somewhere, and I just haven't seen it yet. But yeah, I guess we'll find out what the experiment behind Vault 4 is once we see the TV show. Let's see, Vault 8 is in northwestern Nevada, so this is in actually Fallout 2, and it was also a control vault, and the inhabitants left on schedule and used their GEC to establish Vault City. So this is the vault that led to Vault City. Now, if you've noticed that a lot of these lower number vaults are on the West Coast, and once we get toward the East Coast, we'll get into the higher numbered vaults like 100, 101, 111, things like that. All right, so now we've got Vault 11, and this is in the Mojave Desert in Nevada. So, of course, this is from Fallout New Vegas. And the purpose of this vault was a social experiment studying a population's willingness to sacrifice individuals for the safety of the majority. And they use a lot of falsified threats of collective punishment. So it's kind of a vault that was led by fear. You know, you sacrifice this person, you kill this person, and we will spare everybody else. Things like that. It's kind of messed up. I mean, a lot of these are really messed up. But so what else we know about this vault is that the inhabitants initially did sacrifice people. But eventually they're like, you know what, screw this. We're not going to do this anymore. And this practice was abolished and resulted in the death of most of the inhabitants. So, yeah, I guess they did kind of pay for it in the end. But, you know, good for them for standing up for themselves for at least a little bit. All right, and now we've got one that we should all know. If you know anything about the history of the series, we've got Vault 12. So Vault 12 is in Bakersfield, California. And the purpose of this vault was a medical experiment studying the effects of gradual radiation and exposure. So the vault door for this vault was designed to not seal correctly. So the inhabitants eventually all became ghouls. And these ghouls went on to found the city of Necropolis. So this was in the original Fallout game. If you've played Fallout 1, I don't know how many people these days have played it. But I did. I played this game as a part of the Fallout Feeds Roundtable about a year ago, and I really enjoyed it. I'd always wanted to play it, but the controls kind of were off-putting for me. I wasn't used to those types of controls. So once I got used to the controls, I really did enjoy my experience with Fallout 1. And Necropolis is a major location in the game. And it's really messed up what they did. Like, yeah, this vault is designed to protect you from said radiation, but we're going to make sure that it doesn't. So, yeah, that's Vault 12. Vault 13 is in Mount Whitney in the Sequoia National Park, also known as the Inyo National Forest in California. This is in Fallout 2. And this is another control vault. And what we do know about this vault is that the inhabitants chose to remain in isolation until a water chip failure forced them to send the vault dweller. Okay, so yeah, this is also Fallout 1. This is in Fallout 1 and 2. I apologize, I misspoke a little bit. Yeah, this is the vault that the vault dweller was, that your character in Fallout 1 was based. This is their home vault, and their GEC only had a limited time left. So your character is sent out into the wasteland to recover another GEC. And spoilers for a however-year-old game, mid-90s, mid to late 90s. You do recover a GEC, and you get kicked out of the vault once you come back, and you're kind of a hero to the rest of the vault, and the overseer sees you as a potential threat to the safety of the rest of the inhabitants of the vault. So they're like, yeah, thank you for everything you've done, but get the hell out. So yeah, you get sent out, and your descendant is the main character in Fallout 2. But this schism led to many of the other inhabitants of the vault leaving. And the survivors were either killed or kidnapped by the Enclave. So, yeah. All right, so now we've got Vault 15. Now, Vault 15 is in Southern California, and this appears in Fallout 1 and 2. And the experiment behind this that we know is that a large population from diverse ethnic and religious backgrounds were forced to live together, and the vault's opening was intentionally delayed by several decades. And this led to arguments between different groups of the inhabitants, and these inhabitants went on to form 3 different raider gangs, the Khans, the Jackals, and the Vipers. And everybody who was left that wasn't a part of one of these 3 gangs eventually went on to form Shady Sands. Shady Sands, as you probably know if you played the first game, is one of the locations in Fallout 1. But I'm guessing it does show up in Fallout 2 as well. So next we've got Vault 17. And this is on the West Coast. We don't really know what the experiment was behind this vault, but we do know that the inhabitants were kidnapped and transformed into super mutants by the Unity. So that, and this does show up in Fallout New Vegas. But that's about all we know about that vault. Next up, we've got Vault 19, and Vault 19 shows up in Fallout New Vegas. So it's located in the Mojave Desert. And the experiment behind this one was a social experiment, and it was studying the different effects of factionalism and the means to induce paranoia and mistrust with the inhabitants. So the inhabitants were divided into rival red and blue sectors. So, it's one of those, I don't like this about you. Well, me and my friends don't like this about you. And it's just, nothing good can really come of that when you're focusing on what divides you instead of what unites you. So what happened with the different people in this vault? These inhabitants were subjected to subliminal messaging and fake ads of sabotage. So the vault, the overseer was inserting subliminal messaging into everything they were seeing. And many of these people developed symptoms of psychosis. And this led to the inhabitants. Some of them went on to form the Powder Gangers, but we don't know what happened to most of the people, unfortunately. I can't imagine it was anything good, especially if it's some of the people who did survive were the Powder Gangers. So after Vault 19, we've got Vault 21. Vault 21 is located in Las Vegas, Nevada, so it's on the Strip. You can actually go and visit this vault on the Strip. It's there's not a lot there, but there's not a lot that we do know about this vault. But what we do know is that there was a social experiment studying the effects of excessive gambling, and of course, all disputes were to be resolved through games of chance. So somebody has an issue with somebody else, and like, okay, how do we settle this? Well, I know. Let's play roulette, or let's play, blackjack, and we'll leave fate to the cards or the dice. So the inhabitants maintained a stable community, surprisingly, until 2274. And Robert House successfully won ownership of the vault in a game of blackjack. So he actually played blackjack, and the prize was Vault 21. So after he won the vault in a game of blackjack, he converted it into a hotel. And unfortunately, I don't think that we can really explore this vault. We could explore like the kind of the lobby area, but the rest of it was encased in concrete. So that's kind of a shame. I would have loved to have been able to explore Vault 21 more in depth than what we saw. So after Vault 21, we got Vault 22. This is also in Fallout New Vegas. So it's in the Mojave Wasteland, and it was a research facility studying and creating genetically modified crops and flora. So, if you've played Fallout New Vegas, you've probably been to this vault at some point, and it is, whoo boy, you find a lot of plant people. So, that I distinctly remember this vault because of the plant people that inhabit this vault currently. So, yeah, the genetically modified fungal infection is what led to the transformation of these people, of the vault inhabitants, and turning into plant people. And they also carry spores that they are constantly releasing into the air in this vault. So after Vault 22, we got Vault 29, and Vault 29 is in Fallout 76, but it was also going to be in Fallout Van Buren. Now, if you remember Fallout Van Buren, we did an episode on Fallout 3. We did a retrospective on Fallout 3 way back when, toward the beginning of one of the earlier episodes of this podcast. And we did a segment on what Van Buren was and kind of what it led to. So Fallout Van Buren was originally what Interplay had intended for Fallout 3. And a lot of the aspects that were going to be in Fallout Van Buren eventually did become a part of Fallout New Vegas. So, that's interesting. But we did get to see a Vault 29 in Fallout 76. It is technically on the West Coast, but what it was it was a social experiment. Certain student populations were selected, and no assigned dweller was over the age of 15 when they first entered the vault, and the parents were redirected to other vaults. So this is actually briefly mentioned in Fallout 76. One of the students that was selected was Trisha Miller, who was a Vault-Tec University student, and she was concerned that her assignment would be a janitor in Vault 29 with a bunch of obnoxious rich teenagers. One other thing that we do know about this vault is that Harold emerged from Vault 29 in 2090. Now, if you don't remember Harold is the tree person that you meet in Fallout 3. Just go look up Harold in Fallout 3 if you haven't encountered this person. That's why I don't really sweat about some of the crazy things that we've seen in other Fallout games that might seem out of place. Where else can you find a tree person? Fallout. So, other places you might have seen Vault 29 mentioned would be the Fallout the Fallout Bible, where they source that Harold was from Vault 29 and that he emerged from it in 2090. All right, so after Vault 29, we have Vault 32. That we don't really know anything about because it's in the Fallout TV show. And same with the next one, Vault 33. So Vault 33, the only thing we know about it is that it is in Santa Monica. And we will see everything that has to do with Vault 33 in the TV show because that is where the main character comes from. So, all right, I'm going to do one more, and this is Vault 34. So Vault 34 is in Fallout New Vegas, so it's in the Mojave. And this was a social experiment where inhabitants were provided access to an overstocked armory with no security measures. I wonder what could go wrong there. Give people a bunch of weapons with no restrictions and see what happens. And, so the inhabitants were manually install locks on armories and restricted access to the vault security system. And this caused a schism over these measures and led to a group leaving and forming the Boomer Tribe. Their reactor leaked and that was caused by a civil uprising and led to the death or ghoulification of most of its inhabitants. Anyway, that is where I'm going to leave it right now. We've gone through pretty much all of the vaults, the canonical vaults, and the first 2 games along with Fallout New Vegas. So yeah, that is where I'm going to leave it. And next episode, we'll go through quite a few more of these vaults. Anyway, I'm going to turn this back over to my good Betty Kelsey, and I will see you all in the wasteland.
Thanks as always to Eric for contributing to Tapes from the Wastes and keeping our fingers in the Fallout community. As I said, you kind of do it for both of us. All of your gameplay that you do with other people in the Fallout community, which I don't really get to partake in. Eric is the connective tissue, and I really appreciate him, continuing to spread the good word of the podcast and keep things alive for us, because I couldn't do it by myself. So yeah, come and join us on Twitter if you are at TFTW Pod. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, which we are going to intend to use a little bit more. Come and search, links are always in the description. For all of our other shows, you can find links in the description as well. Please come and give us a review or a rating on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Google Podcasts is going away apparently, so you'll no longer be able to find us on Google Podcasts soon, and I think that is during February. And apparently it's migrating to YouTube Music. We're already on YouTube with our YouTube channel. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work, but hopefully you can still find us wherever you get your podcasts. Come and interact with us. It's going to be another big year for Fallout, and there's going to be lots to talk about in the future. I'm going to leave it there though, and until next time, stay safe out there, Wanderers.